let's take a look at some of the AI tools that Davinci Resolve Studio, the paid version, offers, because it's pretty snazzy. Let me tell you, it's worth the price of admission alone. And I say this having for decades had to deal with substandard audio with a variety of conventional tools that don't work nearly as well. So we're going to go back to our hotkeys narrative here, which I recorded with a fan on, and just have a listen real quick. Hey, welcome back. This is an introduction to how to use hotkeys when using Davinci Resolve. So it's not bad, right? I was using a mic as I am now. It's this one right here. And so that's much closer to my voice than the fan is, but you can still hear the fan. There's a couple of ways that we could get rid of that using conventional tools, but they don't work that well. They just make it better. And usually with productions like this, you would have music, which kind of masks that background noise, but we don't have to. To use the AI tools, though, we have to go over to the Fairlight page. So let us first address that the voice level changes a little bit. So here you can see, I'll zoom in a little. Here you can see the volume. The bigger the white area is in this track, the louder it is. So I said, hey, kind of loud. And then as we go on, I get a little bit more quieter as I'm a little bit more relaxed. So that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with it. We're kind of used to hearing human speech that way, so we pick it out and our brains kind of do the adjustment for us. But I don't want our brains to have to do that much work. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to track one over here in the mixer, because we're not applying this effect to each clip. You can, but in this case, we're applying it to the whole track. So here in the track effects is dialogue leveler. We're going to turn that on. And then when you hover over the other side, you get to control. And this gives you a few options for how the AI is going to listen to the track and make adjustments automatically. Uh, so reduce loud dialogue. I know I want that. Lift soft dialogue. That would work with this because I have soft dialogue, but it's also going to lift the sound of the fan noise. So I'm going to go ahead and uncheck lift soft dialogue. Background reduction, we're going to do that with a different tool, so I'm going to turn that off. Now, allow for wider dynamics is fine, but I think I want to optimize for moderate levels. What I'm trying to do is get the whole thing consistent so that when somebody's listening to it on YouTube or online, they don't feel like they have to go to the volume control to change the volume at any point in the video. So we're going to reduce loud dialogue. We're going to optimize for moderate levels. And the output gain, I'm going to turn this up to, let's say 4 dB. So it's going to reduce the volume of the loudest parts and then turn the whole thing up. Now let's turn the noise up, but again, we'll get to that in a minute. So let's have a listen to that. Hey, welcome back. This is an introduction to how to use hotkeys. That sounds a lot weird kicking in. So let's go back to and I'm going to, instead of optimize for moderate levels, let's go ahead and allow for wider dynamics and see if that sounds more natural. Put it back up to 4 dB plus and see what it does. Hey, welcome back. This is an introduction to how to use hotkeys when using Davinci Resolve. So that actually works pretty well. It evens it out a little. It's pretty subtle, but it does the trick. Now, let's go ahead and look at the voice isolation. That's the effect right above it. So we're going to turn that on and then immediately go to control, because this, well, you'll hear it. It sounds a little fake if you have it up at 100%. Hey, welcome back. This is an introduction to how to use hotkeys when it's pretty subtle, but if you listen to the beginnings and the end of the words, it doesn't sound quite right. Hey, welcome back. This is an introduction to how to... On the other hand, the sound of the fan is completely gone. So I'm going to knock this back down to, say, 50%. And let's try it again. Hey, welcome back. This is an introduction to how to use hotkeys when using Davinci Resolve. Not too bad, huh? And all just the computer doing all the work, the AI doing all the work. It's not AI like cloud AI or generative AI. What it is, it's a learning algorithm that runs off of the GPU, actually, in the computer. So it's all on board. That data isn't going anywhere. All of the issues, topical issues, that are coming up with AI, generative AI, artistic, creative license, and who deserves credit for what. None of that applies to this AI. This is simply uh, the very high amount of computing power and learning and pattern recognition being applied to a very specific task of identifying what is noise, what is voice, and changing those levels automatically. You don't have to do anything. This is really, I mean, the Blackmagic, the company that makes this, earns their name with this because with a button and a few little adjusting of settings, a whole lot of what used to be tedious, painstaking work that only made things a little bit better just goes away. Um, so if you're doing a podcast, you definitely want to be aware of these tools, and the same sort of tools usually have to come into place when you're recording run and gun video, documentary style, out in the field, getting interviews from people. Play around with them. Remember that the voice isolation is sort of a magic bullet, but you do need to adjust the settings. And there are certainly times when there's a lot of background noise that it'll introduce a few more artifacts than you might like. But then you can use the old trick of putting music under it. Talk to anyone about it.